Give me a second here. I'm going to bring up my desktop. How's everyone today? Whoever happens to be here to start things off. I'm here a little bit early. A minute or so. There we go. I'm all set up. I'm going to bring up in just a minute the 12 steps. Because I have, I don't want to go into detail. Remember AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, NA, Narcotics Anonymous, is anonymous. But someone close to me is going to use the 12-step program to heal. Our friend Laradox is here. And there's some conflicting thoughts with the 12 steps. I myself, after a decade of very, very hardcore drinking, was given a moment of grace where drinking left my life. Didn't do anything special. Didn't make an announcement. I didn't grit my teeth. I didn't try to quit drinking. Drinking literally left my life in an instant. Now, it took something big to get me there. However, things had been leading up there for a while. It's not that I was entertaining the thought of drinking, but because through the process, the fact that I was meditating, the fact that I was deepening my practice of yoga, I was approaching life with a certain sense of spiritual awe. And that opened things up. I got something on my head, right? That opened me up, prepared me, so that when that event happened, I was ready to step into a brand new life. And I literally did step into a brand new life. Everything about me was different. Every cell in my body went from the cellular structure of someone who drank to the cellular structure of someone who didn't. My mind was changed. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm switching out my glasses. Big ones to littler ones, or maybe littler ones to bigger ones. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm seeing which one prevents glare from the phone. So I didn't go to meetings. I went to a few because I gave up going to bars. And that was a big thing for me. I went back after I quit drinking, thinking that I would, keep it as my social outlet. However, I quickly realized that it just wasn't my body that had changed, that everything had changed. I was just no longer the person I was before, a day before, and I no longer fit into going to bars. I was no longer in that social structure, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to, AA, get a whole new social structure. Our friend Wolf is here. Wolf, how are you? This is our friend Laradox's link for his channel. If he's still here, he can drop his own link if he would like. 539, you're getting up there, Laradox. Our friend Flower is here. Yeah, so I did not fit in going to bars. I did not fit in going to sobriety meetings. Where did I fit in? I fit in with myself. I embarked on a solitary path for several years of writing, meditating, being out in nature, going to bookstores, lots and lots of times meditating though. Flower says, I don't know why, but I went to pat your bald head. I don't know why either. There's a handful of times when some people have said things that have just made me really laugh out loud. That doesn't happen often. Wolf did yesterday, as William did too. But that really made me laugh, Flower. Flower says she doesn't know why. I just got out of the shower, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm shinier. Maybe I'm shinier than usual. Wolf says, when I stopped drinking, the last thing I wanted was to hang out with people drinking. Understandable. I thought that I would because, some of these were lifelong friends that I had known since grade school that I still hung out with, but in bars. But you're absolutely right. I couldn't do it. Barb is here. Barb says, good day and blessings to all. How are you feeling, Barb? I'm still laughing. Flower's making me laugh. She says it's shiny. Is it shinier than usual? That's my spiritual light shining through, Flower. Flower says, hi to Laradux. Flower has me laughing. Flower has me laughing pretty hard, actually. Mocha would be surprised. Mocha always sees me smiling, always sees me chuckling, mostly at my own jokes, but she doesn't often see me like laugh out loud. But you definitely got me laughing out loud. Wolf says, yes, I miss the friendship and not the drinking. Yeah, and sadly, they got to go hand in hand sometimes. But yeah, I didn't fit in with the meetings either. Now, the reason I brought up the 12 steps is someone close to me is going to be going to meetings, going to be following the 12 steps. What I like about the 12 steps is it's a standalone tradition. You don't even need to be any type of addict to practice the 12 steps to get a meaningful experience out of it. Flour is just getting weird now. I want to slap a slice of cheese on it. Somewhere people have to draw a line, I can understand the patting the bald guy on the head, but slapping a piece of cheese on a guy's head, that's one step too far, my friend. I can honestly say that might be the weirdest thing ever uttered in over a year, every single day, sometimes twice, 3 times a day. Just Yogi doing Burpees in his basement. The oddest thing, the weirdest thing ever said here has been from our friend Flower. I want to slap a slice of cheese on it. She is referring to my head. Let's see if you guys can top that. You got anything weirder to say than that? I don't think so. Our friend Sue is here. Sue says, Yogi. Sue, how are you? How are things in Pennsylvania? So here's the thing that scares a lot of people. We admitted that we are powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. You know what? You can replace the word alcohol with ego. We admitted that we are powerless over ego, that our lives have become unmanageable. It's the ego that led us into drinking because it believed it needed something to connect. It needed to sort of subdue itself to feel connected again. The 12 steps really a spiritual process of relinquishing the ego to the extent that we're able to. We're just substituting ego for alcohol. Which is why at a certain time, maybe, even if you go to meetings, you let meetings go. I can't tell anyone to do that or when to do that, obviously. Let's see, we got some highs. Flower says, yes, people slap slices of cheese on bald heads. It's kind of the ultimate joke. I had never heard that before. If I would ever allow anyone to slap I can't even say it, a slice of cheese on my bald head, the only person in the universe allowed to do so would be our friend Flower. Not even Mocha is allowed to slap a slice of cheese on my on my bald head. Not even my stepchild is allowed to. Well, maybe, I might. Nah, I wouldn't. William says, "Hello, Yogi. William, how are you, my friend?" Sue says, "Too dang hot and muggy for me." Yeah, it's definitely humid down here too. Hey Sue, how far away from you? How far away are you from the river? So the reason why the first step is so hard for so many people is the ego never ever wants to relinquish itself. Again, we tied the ego with alcohol together. So the first step of the 12 steps, Alcoholic Anonymous, we admitted we are powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable. But here we're replacing the word alcohol with ego. We have admitted we are powerless over ego, that our lives have become unmanageable. If you don't like where your life is right now, who's to blame? You could blame circumstances, but if you study the Course in Miracles, if you study Vedanta, if you study Buddhism, then you see that life is simply a reflection of our projections. So there's no one to blame, including ourselves. It's the ego projecting fear. So we are powerless over the ego, and our lives have become unmanageable. What do we do about it? First, through meditation, through maybe hearing the right words, being with the right people, we realize that we are not the ego. Just when Sue says cheese slap, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about cheese slap. I have no idea why we're talking about cheese slap. Hey, William Hart, as a fellow bald guy, has anyone ever threatened to slap a slice of cheese on your bald head before? Flower says it's like putting a plunger on a bald head and seeing if it sticks. I believe I'll stick with the cheese. Given an option between the cheese and the plunger, I think I'm going to take the cheese. Although, as a vegan, I might have to insist that it's going to be a slice of vegan cheese. Wolf says it would take a lot to beat Flowers and Mark. It certainly would. Fortunately, because I show up here several times a day, every day, everyone's got an opportunity to try, including me. Mobo says, "Hey, Yogi." Mobo, my friend, how are you? We get a wave and a thumbs up and the American flag and a smile. Not a bad way to come into a conversation. Sue says I can walk to the river in about 20 minutes. Nice. Man, I love being by water. Fortunately, I got a pond, several creeks. I'm about 5 miles away from the nearest river. Well, maybe less. I could walk to the river, the nearest river, and man, it would take me about an hour, I think, walking. Wolf says Barbara's not feeling well today, so she may not be chatting, although she is here. No problem whatsoever. We're thinking about her, sending her love. I hope she's feeling better than yesterday. Flower says, "Oh, no problem. I hope she gets better." Me too. William says, "I imagine people have wanted to try it, but my demeanor has always kept people away from me. Would probably not like it, but I would not stop them. I cannot pretend to understand the joy they gain. Neither can I. Maybe there's just a satisfying, slap and stick. And then maybe the slow peel off of the head. I don't know. The woman says I don't gain from whatever comes from it, but I am merely a puppet. I am playing a role. If my character can make their world a little brighter, why not embellish a little? It's a nice way to think of it. That's a very Vedic way of thinking about it. But we lots of different ways of thinking about that, of unpacking that. That we, who we truly are, is not we're not puppets. We are the space for a puppet to appear. That's the confusion. Sorry, my cat is oddly staring at me. I honestly believe, Flower, are you still here? My cat is looking at me, and I honestly believe that my cat is thinking that she would really like to slap a slice of cheese across my head. She's giving me that look, and it can only mean one thing. My cat is conspiring with our friend Flower. I think Flower is sending psychic signals over the internet to put bad thoughts in my cat's head. See, Mobo says, well, Yogi, I'm finer than a frog's here. Split 3 ways. How about you? I'm pretty good, but I don't know if I'm that fine. I don't know if I'm fine enough, finer than a frog's hair. That's for sure. Because that's pretty fine. That's pretty good. Wolf says we can drive to the river in about 10 minutes. Except for today, it's been raining since yesterday. And I think the river is coming to us. We are overdue for, it's sort of sprinkling throughout the day, but we're overdue for a big rainstorm. Flower says my cat is meowing. I think your cat is sending evil signals to my cat. I honestly believe that if my cat had a slice of cheese in her hand right now, she would be slowly lurking over my left shoulder. Sue says, reminds me of the restaurant scene from Car Wash, where they made Butterstick in the ceiling and he eventually came down on the bald guy over there. Man, it's been a long time since I watched that movie. I think since I was a kid. Remember when it used to come on TV and we loved it. Our friend Dottie is here. Dottie, how are you? So I came on the live stream pretty tired, sleepy. I'm not often like sleepy tired. You know what I mean? I can feel a bit of fatigue from my workout or whatever, but mid-afternoon slumps I don't normally get. But this conversation has laughing out loud has definitely picked me up. Our friend Dottie is at 224 subscribers right now. Awesome, Dottie. And this is Dottie's Lake. Flower says, I don't have a river near me. Cons of living in the city. If you lived in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, you'd have a river going straight through your city. Where I was born, McKeesport, Pennsylvania, we had a river going through our city. We had the Mahogany. I'm saying that wrong. Our friend, Miss Poopinator said, the cats fart. Dogs do. I don't know if I've ever heard my cats fart before. That's the real cat conversation. Fart for me, cats. Man, what would you do if my cat just marched up to the phone right now and let one loose? How are you, Mr. Poopinator? You got the day off today? Dottie says, I'm fine. Thanks, Eric. I'm staying at my parents' as my dad is not so good, so helping them out. Sorry to hear about your dad. Yeah, I saw that you posted some lovely videos being at your mom's garden. Sue says, Mr. Poopinator, yes, cats fart. Just ask my sister. Well, that's good to know, because now we don't have to do a rigorous scientific study on the gaseous and flatulence of cats. I was going to try to think of the Latin name for cats, and I actually don't know it. Let's see. Moo says, we have a cat. They won't touch cheese, but love lettuce. Go figure. Huh. It's weird because, cheese is basically milk, and cats do like milk. Or some do. Laura says, vegan cat. I know people who had vegan dogs. Vegan because dogs are sort of, they're not exclusively. I don't force my cats to, they eat whatever they want. Our friend Mir's here. Says, hey, sir, and all beautiful people. Did you guys catch Mir's live stream this morning? Give me a second. So I'm dropping links from a desktop, so I don't think they open up for everyone. Guys, feel free to drop your own links. Feel free to shout out your channel. Let people know what you're working on, what you're hoping to do, if you want. Mir says, guys, double tap screen for a big thumbs up. Thank you for that. Very much appreciated. Mobo says, is it Mobo? Moby. Mob. Sorry. I'm all over the place with it. Mob. I believe it's Mob, right? I'm sorry, I've been mispronouncing it. I do apologize. Says, hey, Poop. Miss Poopiner says, is Yogi cat a vegan? She is, well, I got two cats. They are not vegans. Cats are natural carnivores. Jeez, all kinds of problems today. Cats are natural carnivores, so it is not for me to rethink my cat's nature. Dogs, however, can be sort of both, but most of them prefer to eat meat. So, again, don't second guess your animal's nature. Dogs enjoy eating meat. I believe they're better off eating meat. Do they have to? No. But why, do what's best for your dog, not what's best for you. Not even what's best for your ethics, My ethics are for me. That doesn't necessarily mean that my ethics are best for my cat or my dog or for you. This is why whenever we have conversations about veganism, I don't say this is why you guys should be a vegan. I don't necessarily know that you should be a vegan. I think everyone benefits from eating more plants. Not at the exclusion of anything else, but here's what you find. If you eat more plants, you end up naturally eating less meat. Mr. Poopinator, thank you, my friend. Who would think? I come here with the intent of imparting yogic wisdom, of deep study, of Taoism, practicing Buddhist meditation for several years, 30 plus year practitioner of A Course in Miracles, and I'm literally earning money because I talk about cats farting. Who would have figured? I'll take it though. It's much appreciated from our friend Mr. Poopinator. All right, let me catch up, guys. Where it says, I did a beautiful cat that looks like my cat from childhood. Really hit a heartstring for me. All pets can do that for sure. We've always had cats, we've always had dogs forever. This is my longest stretch without a dog since my last dog died in 2018. But I have, Mocha's dog is mine. She believes she's mine, or better yet, she believes I'm hers, and that's what counts. That's what matters. Our friend Eric Lapointe is here. Eric, how are you? Let's see. Flower says, yeah, but did you know that milk is actually bad for cats? I didn't know that. Thank you. Who says? My sister says they're stinky egg farts. I wonder why that would be so. I could see stinky fish farts or chicken farts. So I can't be demonetized for talking about farts, can I? I don't think so. If YouTube is monitoring this conversation, it all stems back, actually, from Flower wishing to slap a slice of cheese on my bald head. I don't know why she wishes to do that, but she does. And she was psychically communicating that thought to my cat, who was looking at me like she wanted nothing better than to slap a slice of cheese, a vegan cheese, on my head, which led somehow Mr. Poopinator to wonder if cats fart, which our friend Sue has confirmed. And off we've gone down the rabbit hole of cats and farts. Here we are, guys. I can't say that I regret any aspect of this conversation. I've enjoyed every single part of it. This is why everyone's welcome. This is why Mr. Poopinator is an essential part of the community. This is why Flower is essential. Who else would have come in here threatening to slap a slice of cheese on my head? Let's see. William says, "Hey, Mia, welcome. Thank you for sharing the cat and hawk this morning." Yeah, that was awesome, wasn't it? All of Mira's videos are awesome. Let's see. Wolf says, "I trained with a lady who had a vegan dog, and her dog was allergic to meat." Yeah, they can be vegan. Neither Mocha and I ever seriously considered. We fed dogs vegan dog food, but not exclusively, and they liked it just as much. But we also, Mocha would make her own with chicken liver. Mira says, "Sorry, Yogi, I'm sorry. Man, I don't know how about Burpee Reaper. Now he's going down, man." Yeah, I saw he was doing reps. I had him up for a while. Is he still going at it? He's still going at it. Getting in the reps. All right, guys, let me catch you up. Roy says, "I feel like you were going to say naturally are carnivorous." Yeah, dogs are more omnivore. They can go either way. Flower says, carnivores. 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 William says there's a tick-borne illness that causes allergy to red meat. I didn't know that. Interesting. Wolf says, "I sure blame it on Flower." Hey, scroll up to the beginning of the conversation. I have witnesses here. Hybrid says, "I have to watch an advert to watch Eric's video now, but hopefully helping a tiny way to pay the bills. Yoga Quizzum untapped." Hybrid Jim is here. Our good friend Hybrid Jim, formerly known as Barefoot Burpees. This is a channel to watch, guys. From the beginning to the end, from his first workouts doing Barefoot Burpees to the awesome stuff that he's doing now. Man, if anyone should be allowed to skip an advert, it should be Hybrid Jim, who's been a friend since my first live stream. Sorry, I'm behind, guys. Poopinator says, YouTube is a cash cow. I love this channel. You guys make it what it is, that's for sure. Let's see. Mo Bell, Yogi. But you can just call me anything. Just don't call me late for dinner. Got it. Mo Bell. Mo Bell. I'm going to remember that. I promise. I shouldn't promise because I'm probably not going to remember it, but I'm going to do my best. Our friend MF Dreadson is here. I believe Dredson's got a new video up. Feel free to drop your links, guys. Hybrid says you've arrived, Eric. Yeah, I believe I make maybe 2, 3, sometimes 4 cents per video with advertisements. Hey, and I say that, jokingly, but making money, earning money from even a cent from your own creativity is an awesome, awesome feeling. That you make a video, especially the shorts, the nature shorts, which feel more, intuitively artistic, share nature and come in here having a talk, making 1 penny from a conversation, it feels incredible. And I thank you all for actually helping me. From Hybrid Gym, watching the early burpee videos, to the conversation that we're having now, to our friend Flower threatening to slap a slice of cheese on my head. All of it has been meaningful. Let's see. Dogs and cats are actually omnivores. They eat meat and green stuff. Okay, I knew dogs. I wasn't so sure about cats. Thank you for that, Wolf. Hybrid Jim is saying hello. Judson says, just knocked out my lunch reps, ready to eat now. Hope you all are thriving. We're doing pretty good. What was the agenda for the day, Judson? Mir says, if earning is, it's okay. Nothing, it's also okay because they support people. They're happy. It's my earnings, sir. Beautifully said. Beautifully said, Mir. And you certainly do support people. That's for sure. Pipinator says, Ice been turned in recently with MF Dread. Dread, you in Jamaica? Yeah, he puts in some serious work. Hope you guys are subscribed to Dreadson. I believe that's his link below. Robo says, this chat has gone in the crapper. Well said, my friend. It certainly has. And I don't think there's any way to save it now. Once you go down that rabbit hole, once you go down that toilet hole, I think we're stuck down there. William says, I think it would be contested by video first, but to most of my knowledge, which is only general and unspecific to YouTube content, guidelines, you should be safe. Good to know. So, guys, continue with the fart conversation to your heart's content. Hybrid says, chat's changed a lot since your early days with you, Mocha, and I. They have. They definitely have. In essence, though, we still get to talk about good things. Mocha might pop in later. We'll see. Mir says, guys, please double tap screen for a thumbs up. Thank you for that. Sue says, toot, toot, tweet, tweet, off we go. Sorry, you guys are definitely making me laugh today. I mentioned before, I came in feeling pretty tired, but you guys have definitely perked me up. Mr. Poopinator says Burpee is a different kind of human being. Barefoot Burpee? Oh, Burpee Reaper. He certainly is. Guys, as I mentioned though, make sure you check out Hybrid Gym, the original Barefoot Burpee. If you want to really see, not taken away from any other amazing person, but it floors me every time because you seldom see people able to move like this with that control and that precision. Here says just stopped them this week, man. What's that? What did we stop? William says, I believe it's primarily in a tick species called the Lone Star tick, which I'm assuming is Texas-based. Poopinit says, I expect you all for the burpee game. I can't get past 10. Just space them out. Hey, if it takes you 20 minutes to get 10 reps, get 10 in 20 minutes. So then the next day, try to get 11 in 19 minutes. Hey, I saw that one video you put up, you doing burpees, and you look pretty good. We get a tweet, Tran. Yeah, Hybrid Jim says 10 is a good start, Poopy. It really is. A lot of people can't get 10. Thank you for that, Mir. Mir says, please double tap. Hybrid says everyone must start somewhere. And it's an interesting way to make a cent. Yeah, I agree. And it really is a fun, spontaneous way. I don't come in here anything planned to talk about. I don't go for my walk with my camera where I'm planning to, I'm going to film this. Today's the day I'm going to catch this or catch that. Whatever appears, I'm very fortunate to be able to catch it. I'm very happy, very joyful. All that stuff that I get to see. If I saw it without my camera, I would be just as joyful. The fact that I get to share it, all the better. The fact that I get to have conversations with all of you guys. Albert says, 30 years ago, you never have imagined. This is true. And the year 2000, I self-published my first book. And I did some readings from it. The last other couple books that I put out, I was actually flown to Texas, to Canada, to Florida to do some readings from it. And I thought, you know what? Something might happen. And then, of course, nothing did. My books sold in the dozens, in the tens, in the 11s. But every once in a while, someone still buys a copy of the book. And, I have my Medium account where I keep my writing. Once a month, I get like $2.30 or $3.30. And I wrote about this the other day. I'm a professional writer. $3.33, I think, was my last check or deposit from Medium. And I'm absolutely thrilled because I'm earning an income through what I always wanted to do, which is simply be creative. Bobo says, hi to Jim. Donnie says, it's always an interesting chat here and watching all the different channels. It is. I agree. You guys definitely make it interesting. Look who all the people that we have here. Mr. Poopinator says, all right. I'll stop with the farts. That's how I came in here. My bad. Hey, keep being you, Mr. Poopinator. Leo's here. Leo says, much love, brother Yogi. Leo, my friend, how are you feeling? How's the recovery week going? Mr. Poopinator said, I had no intention of staying here, but here I am. Oh, okay, and I earned the rent. You certainly earned it. You definitely did. Judson said, I did 3 sets of 25 burpees and squats. First set was 1 pump. Second set was rocking chair. Um, Third set was 2 pump. Nice workout. Dredson's reps are always on point, really precise. Dottie says, burpees, I can't get past 1. My wrist collapse. You could use wrist wraps, but you know what? Honestly, burpees are not meant for everyone to do so. There's definitely easier ways of staying, getting, maintaining fitness. Honestly, for the vast majority of people, I think heavy hands are different than, dumbbells. They're shaped specifically for the hand, and you're not just carrying them, or you're not just striding with them. You're increasing your stride with your hands, not with your feet. And it got everything that you need. You can stop every once in a while and do a couple squats, mainly to maintain mobility. The ability to keep squatting as we age is hugely important. That's why I always advocate also get-ups, or Turkish get-ups, as some people call them, with the kettlebell, because our ability to get off the floor as we get older and older diminishes. So why not train that? Dredson says, warm-up plus reps was sub 20 minutes. Yeah, lately, 25 minutes and under has been like the sweet spot. Not that every once in a while I don't want to throw in something longer, but yeah, 25 or under. Bobo says, did I already mess that up? Don't stop poop. Wouldn't have it any other way. Don't you go changing. 10-4. Thank you for that support for our good friend, Mr. Poopinator. Dottie says, getting to share what you see is just great. You never what you will see. This is true. You never know what you will see. That's why I enjoyed the visit to your mom's garden. This is why I love Just One Sue. I get to see beautiful, awesome Susquehanna River, which is my all-time favorite river. Gordon says, anyone have any advice for anyone basically starting with nothing somewhere new? Interesting. Let's see what if anyone does, William, and then we can dive into that. Dottie says, has Bumble Tea been in? Not today. She was here last night, though. William says, not in this stream. Unfortunately, they stopped in one of the points streams earlier, I believe. Yeah, I did see her. Where did I see her today? Maybe it was Eric LaPointe's. Here says, so Yogi, start your earning from YouTube. So it's been May 20th. I got the 3,000 watch hours and was able to do the super chats and that stuff. So far, I've decided not to do with the membership, although I might be coming around to it. At first, I'm thinking I love giving stuff away. I don't have knowledge that I share for money. Yoga, meditation, breath work. I love putting that out there, and I would feel wrong if someone asked for help. I would help them. So it feels sort of wrong that I would charge people. But several people, including our friend Eric LaPointe, said, but you would be offering uninterrupted conversation about, or instructions on meditation and breath work, which is an important distinction I hadn't considered before. So Destiny, Eric LaPointe, and Mocha have all made excellent points on why I should do so. You guys can let me know what you think as well. Our friend the Burpee Reaper is here. So man, we got several of the big-time premier burpee practitioners in the game just in this conversation. We got the Burpee Reaper, we got the legendary Hybrid Jim, we got Leo Said So, we got the Woodchopper himself, Eric LaPointe, MF Dreadson. Again, beautifully precise reps. It's almost like, you know, I use the term measured. Everything looks measured, but spontaneously so. Not like he's thinking of it. Everything is just very perfect. Let's see. I'm going to bring up the Burpee Reaper's channel. He's just back from his own live stream, putting in some big reps in a parking lot. It's a great thing about burpees is you can do them anywhere. That's also the thing you can do, you know, if you have the hand weights. If that's all you have, if burpees just don't work well for you, there's always something that we can do. Here says, Leo, welcome, brother. Eric LaPointe says, hey to Dottie. William says, maybe it was Ahmed's. Forgive my forgetfulness. I have been abound today. Yeah, I saw her too, but I can't remember. So no issues whatsoever. Dresden says, salute to Reaper. Jeff Watt says, hey, it's Jeff. It is Jeff. How are you, my friend? Let's see. William says, take care, Mob, and thanks for hanging out. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed your comment up above. Mob says, well, Yogi, you have a great gang here, and I have smiled also, but there is work to do on the farm here in Middle America, and look forward to catching you all downstream. 10-4. 10-4 to you, my friend. Thank you for hanging out with us. Very much appreciated. And that's the same thing William Hart says. Thank you, Mob, for hanging out. It was a pleasure. Definitely was. Donnie says, I think I'll stick to walking. Eric, arthritis is quite bad in my hands, especially doing the repetitive work in my Camera. I know what you mean, but I'm not sure I can pronounce it, which made more painful. I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, that work that you're putting in is exercise too. It's definitely keeping you toned. Rear says, Sir Eric and all friends, today at last 1 year, I earned $40, man. So you earned that today from your videos? X Point says, I saw Tia on my live this morning. Yep, I think that's where... Nope, because I missed Eric LaPointe's live stream. So I must have saw her somewhere else. I'm glad she's making the rounds. Dottie says, thanks, Eric. I hadn't seen her for a while here. Yeah, she hung out with us last night for a bit. Mir says, LaPointe, I'm sorry I was not there, brother. Camper. Okay, got it. For those who don't know, although I think everyone does by now, our friend Dottie is refurbishing, is that the right word? Refurbishing it was a medical van, ambulance, into a camper van. And she should be done by August. So I believe she said the end of August. a month or so. And then it's going to be adventures. It's going to be awesome. Dottie has a great eye for catching nature, just a really, really unique way. So imagine when she's on the road visiting all these different places, what she's going to be sharing with us. Rhea says, would I watch your live stream, brother? Let me just give a quick look here on YouTube. So as you guys know, it means an awful lot to our young friend Laradox if you subscribe to his channel, if you're not already. I believe probably most everyone here already is. So I guess the next live stream we're going to have is coming up. Our friend Leo should be going live sometime with his reps. He's taking a rest week for him. For anyone else, it'd be a full bore, 100% hardcore workout. I think he said 152 pumps for the whole week, which is a reduction for him because he was putting in some big 5 pump routines. And our friend Burpee Reaper got his reps in the parking lot today. You can get them done anywhere. Dottie says I may go live when I do the van tour. That would be awesome. You know what? I'd love to do for you to do a live stream opening day when you're ready for the big reveal. That would definitely be cool. So believe it or not, I started this conversation talking about the 12 steps. And we got to step 1 when I was starting to have a slice of cheese slapped to my bald head. One's one of the most important ones. Step 1. The reason I was talking about 12 steps, I was talking about my own past addictions. I didn't really practice 12 steps to replace the social life that I lost, but now it wasn't for me. I fully support both meetings as well as 12 steps. The 12 steps is a viable spiritual path completely on its own. For me, though, the AA just didn't feel like a viable path. But for some people, it's the only path and the only way they maintain their sobriety. So by all means, I'm not downplaying it. If it is your path, for as long as you need it, stick with it. Step number 1, we admitted we are powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable. And I mentioned before that you can replace alcohol with ego. We are powerless over ego, mainly because the ego thinks it's in charge, and we don't know who we really are. That's one of the 5 kleshas in yoga, the 5 afflictions of the mind, is believing that we are solely and only an ego, the voice in our head, our thoughts, when we're not. Thoughts are always changing. How could we be something that's always changing? We're the awareness to the thoughts themselves. When we admit that we're powerless over the ego, we become what we truly are because we can't be anything other. It's this great sigh, this great realization. One of the big things that have been happening in my life more and more, and over the past several years, but very deeply lately, is the complete surrender to what A Course in Miracles calls the Holy Spirit. We can just call it spirit. We can just call it our true identity. We can call it anything but the ego, the anti-ego. Except it's all accepting, so it can't be anti-anything. Eric Point gives a salute to our brother Lewis. The reason I was talking about the 12 steps is because someone very close to me is going to make a firm commitment to following the 12 steps and going to meetings. And it's going to be very powerful for them. And I believe much needed for them. But again, you got to be somewhat fearless. Being fearless doesn't mean really without fear. It means that you're willing to face your fears, accept them head on. Number 2 is a hard one for a lot of people, that you've come to believe that a power greater than yourself could restore us to sanity. That power is not separate from you. That power is who you already are. So, surrendering power, we admit that we're powerless. Gaining power, that a power greater than ourselves. It's all here. It's all here. It's all in the heart. You don't have to look anywhere for that power. You realize the powerfulness of powerless is an amazing paradox. And then a lot of people miss this last part. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. That's the part that a lot of people miss, as we understand Him. So it doesn't have to be Christian in context. It could be Buddha. Buddha is not a god. However, as you understand him, Buddha is presenting wisdom that is essential to you. And in that case, we can understand him as God, if it helps us. So, or we could also say spirit, or the Tao. I prefer the Tao, actually. Made a decision to turn our will and lives over to the care of the Tao. And the Tao says that everything is done through the Tao, that we are not the doer. It's the Tao that does everything. And yet the ego rushes in and lays claim to it, gives itself a high five, slaps itself on the head with a slice of cheese, feeling pretty good about himself or herself. But when we turn things over to the Tao, consciously, purposely so, that's when things begin to change. Step number 4 is pretty difficult. All the steps are difficult. I can save myself from saying, but many find this to be a particularly difficult one because made a search and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. If you've ever been an alcoholic or any kind of oholic, you've done some pretty shitty things. Making that searching and a fearless moral inventory of the crappy things we've done, tough, very tough, my friends, but worthwhile. So I'm not going to go over each one, just a few more here. Number 11, I did this instinctively, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us to use the power to carry out. Oddly enough, I did that before I quit drinking, and that's what led me to quit drinking. That's what gave me the opportunity to step into that life of sobriety when it appeared as an opportunity for me. Had I not been meditating, I seriously don't believe that event would have occurred, not the way it did. And if it had, I would not have stepped into that opportunity. I would have squandered it, and I would have turned around the very next day and continued drinking, and I wouldn't be having this conversation with you guys today. I would have destroyed myself because I was purposely doing so. For no good reason other than I had nothing better to do. I guess I didn't particularly like myself. So if you don't particularly like yourself, what reason do you have to do anything other than something destructive? with the great thing with meditation is giving me that spacious awareness that, one, I wasn't the self that I believed myself to be, and two, I could look at that small, limited self, I could look at that egoic self with a great deal of love and tenderness. I could love that little self through every experience. And I still do, because I'm not even remotely close to being ego-free. However, I don't necessarily relate to myself as an ego. I see it come up. I see those hurt feelings. I see the reactions. I see all that stuff appearing. And yet at the same time, not all the time, but lots of times, I'm able to smile and just simply allow the ego to puff itself up and then just let it go. It took me a long time to get here, but here's an honest truth I can share with you. It doesn't have to take you that long to get here. Just as simple as a snap of the fingers. Because it took me a while to realize I was already that. But you guys can realize that you're already that right now. Let's see, making sure I'm not missing anything. Hey, William, are you still with us? You had asked the question about starting over with nothing. Our friend Pauline is here. Pauline says, hello, brother. Hello, my friend. I'm good, Pauline. How are you? I don't know as I have specific advice for, I don't know if I have specific advice for anything other than, hey, learning how to do burpees or things along those lines. But Pauline is fine. Great to hear. But we could certainly, try to unpack that. If you're starting over someplace, you're going to need something stable. Eric Point says I would work on form first. Yeah, I agree. That's what Eric LaPointe did. You watched several videos, several people doing different videos, so you had different styles down packed, and then you start practicing what works for you. Pauline says, Williams, greetings. So William, if you're starting your life over, this is what I'm assuming that you mean, that you're going to be somewhere, no place to stay, right, offhand. Of course, it's not impossible, but man, it's definitely going to be tough. You at least need some place where you can, take a shower, groom, get things. That way, if you get the opportunity for a job, if you have the opportunity for a job interview or something, you want to be able to come in with neat clothes. If you think being clean shaven is going to be helpful, you definitely want to, shower and all that stuff. Good idea. See, that's William says shower at Planet Fitness and laundromat for clothes. Perfect. That's just the kind of stuff that I'm thinking of as practicality. The fact that you know it's going to be difficult and you're willing to do it speaks volumes about you. Eric Point says, I'm still working on form myself. Me too. I think, and you know what? I think we all always will, especially, things change. The body changes a bit, so form's going to have to change accordingly. If you keep holding on to the same type of form and you have a hurt shoulder, then you put more stress on that hurt shoulder. So you sort of need to, learn that flexibility of having work on your form every day. Eric Point says, nice. William, is there any chance you could trade your car in for like a van or something? Do you have some money to save up that gives you a little bit of a financial cushion? It's good that you enjoy eating, simplicity. Our friend Optimob is here. Timo, my friend, how are you? What do you have planned for us this week, Timo? Any more premieres coming up? Or a live stream coming up? Eric Lapointe, I heard you mention a while back that you were learning from oracles how to do a premiere. I've yet to try. Altamaz says, fine, thank you, and yes, and yes. Awesome. That's always good news, knowing that we're going to get to see something beautifully put out by Optimum, by Timo, Sabine, and Max. Bax, sorry. William says, kind of burned through most of my savings, believing I might have this, I might make this present living situation work, but I don't think I will sustain another 6 months with similar or degrading conditions. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit. Here says, Optimob, where is Sabine today? I hope she is well. I saw her early this morning. William says, not finding reliable work is making here challenging. And if there's are any opportunities out there, I will take them. How about if you make a list of things that you would like to do, things that you might find just acceptable to do, and work your way down that list online, putting out applications online, talking to people and saying, I'm willing to relocate, that I'm looking to make a change in my life. Don't have to get specific, but you're not happy in your current situation, and that you'd like to relocate, and see what you can do maybe online, and then you have something that you're heading towards. Bruin says, I'm not adverse to being here to aid how I am able to, but I want to secure a foundation for myself first. That's understandable. I see it a little different, but it's understandable. Optimob says, I believe in the universe. It send me Sabine and Bax. And those are definitely gifts. Definitely gifts. How can you not be thankful for a universe that gives you Sabine and Bax? By now, the all familiar phrase from Meister Eckhart that if the only prayer you ever said was thank you, that would be enough, certainly applies with that. When you're thankful for the ones that you're with, every day is a blessing. Every day is a miracle. When you are thankful for just waking up, So I think maybe talk for about 10 more minutes. Optimop says, and we've had nearly 12 wonderful years together with Rumi, our old dog. I love that name for a dog too, Rumi, because it reminds me of Rumi's poem, Love Dogs, ending with there are love dogs no one knows the name of. Give your life to be one of them. William says, I am open to perspective, but it feels like if the intent is for me to be independent, then why drag out an unnecessary process? Are you absolutely sure that you can't be independent where you are right now? Optima says, Rumi is a poet. He's the best, or top of the best. One of my all-time favorites. As mentioned, that last line in his poem, Love Dogs, there are love dogs no one knows the name of. There are love dogs that no one's ever heard of. Give your life to be one of them. Which is, the whole thing is an allegory for our longing for God. Which, of course, you know, the Sufi poets, it's all about the longing. And longing doesn't mean absence, because it's the longing itself that is the message. Roy says, if I want to eat a double shift, if I want to eat a double shift, nowhere fast service worker, sure. I guess it would never escape. Hey, we're just feeling things out. You know what I mean? Assessing the situation. Now, of course, many people have worked their way up from fast food. I'm not saying you should do so. I'm not saying anything at all, William. I'm just sort of through process of talking, we end up opening up avenues to explore. So don't think that anything I'm saying as is a suggestion, William, you should do this, because it definitely isn't. I trust in the wisdom of William, not the instinct of William's ego, any more than I trust my own. So, you know, when we ask questions, we're hoping to go deeper and deeper, and that you find out what truly might be the best course. And you do know it, and you will uncover it. Eric says, have you got paid yet, Yogi? I have not got paid yet. It's supposed to be between the 21st and 21st. I'm looking at my email and see if anything from my bank. 21st and the 26th. So what, 2 more days? So I checked my email. And they got the neighborhood like watch stuff. And according to this, there are 19 horses loose in my neighborhood. I don't know why. I don't know how. Well, not directly in my neighborhood now that I see it, but about a mile away, there are 19 horses loose. So yeah, I should get paid a little bit from June, well, a little bit from May, and some from June. July will be the first month that I've been fully monetized. Leo says, Brother Yogi, I got me a 30-pound vest. Nice. So after the rest week, I'm going to start doing reps with 30 pounds extra, which is crazy to me. Going to be lifting 250 pounds each set, each burpee. That's awesome. Practice with a vest. We were just talking about practice and form because the vest changes your form just a little bit. So do a couple practice sessions, getting used to it, making sure that your form is spot on. Eric Point says, sounds like it's unstable over there. Yeah, that for me, what would be optimal would be looking for, looking around online for places that might be hiring that interest you. Like you were talking about, maybe being a grower or working with someone who's a grower. Maybe looking around for apprenticeships. At the same time, I'm a firm believer. I'm always hesitant to say this because I don't want it to sound like I'm giving someone advice for lots of reasons. Because I don't know anything that you don't know. And of course, I'd feel bad if you thought I was giving advice and you took it and things went south. I didn't get it, but now I get it. Eric Point says, "Get it? Horse is unstable." I do get it. That was pretty good. Those are the jokes that sneak up on you. Unfortunately, it took Eric Lapointe to hit me with a stick instead of having it sneak up on me. 19 horses on the loose. Our friend Goldie is here. Leo says, LMAO, the point with the zing. It's definitely a good one. That was William Downey Worthy, by the way. As a matter of fact, I believe had William been here, he might have been going down that same stretch of road with you, Eric Lapointe. So, yeah, William, I'm a big believer in, what Optima was saying, trust in the universe. But you got to be ready to give it the ultimate trust. That's kind of what I'm doing with YouTube. So who am I to say don't, If I'm doing it, why is it good for me and not good for you? The only difference is because I worry more about you than I worry about what might happen with me right now. But don't let that worry in any way influence you. If you feel that you are in a position to surrender like that, to head out into the world without any thought or knowledge of what might happen, but trusting in God or trusting in the Tao, I'm with you. I'll help if I can. Our friend Alana is here. Alana says, I am back, my friend. How are you, Alana? You know what? I really appreciate you stopping back so often. William says, I like that idea and I am working on that. I was looking at cities in Ohio. I found out that Dennis is also in Ohio, runs or helps to run a men's accountability group in Cincinnati. Yeah, I think he started that. Lana says, good. William says hello to Lana. Have you talked with Dennis? Cincinnati is a very pretty city. I did my first two kettlebell coaching certifications there, where I studied under Valerie Fedorenko, who's considered sort of the Michael Jordan of competition kettlebells. Through his coaching, well, I became a coach, But through his coaching and his plans, I became probably one of the top two master kettlebell sport lifters in my weight class in the country, which sounds really impressive, except there was probably only about two of us in the country at the time, as it was such a fringe sport. It's gotten bigger. This was in 2003, 2004. It's definitely gotten bigger. William says Cincinnati was a fifth city option for me. I tried this morning, but he got hammered with trolls, and I was quickly drowned out in the static. Yeah, he does he does a 4 a.m. live stream. I'm subscribed. I haven't had a whole lot of interaction with him. We come from entirely different places in our belief system. Or I can't even say our belief system, as I do my best to surrender my belief system. Man, if I could think of something for you to do in the Columbia, Maryland area where I live, if the house was entirely my own, I'd say, hey, come on down and do whatever you want. You can hang out and do burpees in the basement. However, as I do split the house with my brother, he's a very particular person. Particular is a really, really nice term, by the way. I love my brother, but he is a very particular person. Lana says that she spoke to Dennis. Nice. How was Dennis? I hope that is good for you. I hope that the conversation is what you wanted it to be. Whoever says that's awesome. Lana, he is very knowledgeable. Eric Point says he's learning slowly, Yogi. I've been watching him lately. Nice. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I should tune in again. It's probably been about a year or so. Alana says that is right. He's doing all right. That's good to hear. William says, I believe I appreciate the offer. Thank you. I believe I have OCD idiosyncrasies of cleanliness, and I love living minimalistically. I don't know how much it affected me, though, but even though mostly in comedy. George Carlin's ideas influenced me a lot. Man, you can't go wrong with George Carlin. Here's a truly amazing thing about George Carlin, especially his humor and his philosophy. If both political parties can claim him, one side, look, he's making our point, and the other side says, look, he's making our point. The truth is, he was just talking truth. Yeah, I have my own little idiosyncrasies. I said it right the first time, and I go back for a second, and it's just not going to happen. Idiosyncrasies. How do I say it right one time and not the other? Yeah, I have my own. Let me just put it that way. You would like Columbia. Beautiful city. Very green, very open. It's got some issues. It's only 50 years old or so. It was a planned city. It was designed by James Rouse, who also designed the Inner Harbor as well as the Mall in America in Minneapolis, I believe. Um, he is the grandfather of Edward Norton, who grew up in Columbia. Didn't know him. I know people who knew him. Said he was a pretty nice guy. James Rouse is a very, very idealistic person, and he wanted a planned city where people of all different eco-social status would be in the same spot. So we got um, hugely expensive houses up the hill from me, less than a quarter mile. We have nice little suburban townhouses where I live. We have fairly expensive condos behind me over here. And then we have low income section house that lately people have complained about. But originally in Columbia, it was all beautiful and seamless. Absolutely love it. We have interfaith sessions, interfaith centers, where people from different faiths, they have different services, but they see each other. So if you go in the morning for a Catholic mass and you're on your way out, you see people getting ready to come in for synagogue. Um, so it was, the whole idea was beautiful. William says, is there a field of work proficient in the area? Some of the regions like Kansas and Oklahoma are oil fields. Well, we got a lot of NSA workers here because I'm not far from NSA. Whatever Baltimore offers, whatever Washington, D.C. offers, we're in close commute with that. Those are probably the big things. A lot of government workers, not far from Fort Meade, so there's a fair amount of military people. That's how I met Mocha. She was stationed at Fort Meade. She came into the vitamin shop, of which I was the manager. And it was me and the other manager. And he said, man, she's really attractive. Watch. I'm gonna go over. Um, and I don't remember what I said, but it was along the lines of, why do you get to go over? And I don't know how it worked out. But anyway, Mocha came in looking for a particular product, and the vitamin shop. Yep. Yeah, I was a manager there, as well as manager at GNC for a long period of time. I'd go back and forth because each place threatened to promote me, which I couldn't take. I do not want to be a regional manager. I don't want to be a regional anything. I don't want to be a district manager. And that was always the promise. They would say, hey, to be honest, I didn't even want to be a manager. But yeah, Mocha came and she was asking about, I don't want to give away details that aren't mine to give away, but supplements might help with particular issue, and I talked out of buying anything, and instead to go to Borders book and look for a particular book on meditation. This was 24 years ago, because she didn't need a supplement that meditation would help her, and that I would be happy to help her with it. Man, what a pickup line. I didn't mean it as a pickup line. I found her attractive. I had no, I wasn't dating anyone. Nor did I have any interests. I was very quietly working at the vitamin shop and spending my time writing and meditating and practicing yoga. And that was going to be the extent of it for me. I still occasionally toyed with the thought of joining a monastery. So starting a relationship just was in 2002, was the last thing on my mind. But she reached out to talk about meditation. One thing led to the other. 2 years we were married. Several years after that, we were divorced. And now here we are what, almost 24 years later, and we have found our way to be exactly what each of us needs us to be. In A Course in Miracles, they talk of special relationships and holy relationships. Special relationship are the relationships where you think, so what's in it for me? If I do this for this person, what am I going to get back? Um, and we approach so many of our relationships that way, that conditional. I love you, and you better keep loving me, because if you stop, I'm not going to love you anymore. How many times have we seen marriages go down that route when it leads to divorce? Um, when Mocha wanted a divorce, it was the last thing I wanted, but I can understand it. I'm a particular type of person myself. Um, but, and it took some work, I wanted a holy relationship. And a holy relationship is a relationship where you promise to love unconditionally, which means you don't have to say that you love me back. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. My love for you is unconditional. Um, and I worked with that, and I worked with that, and I worked with that. I worked with that through the divorce, through all kinds of issues, as she did with me. Because it's not easy being married to to a yogi. It's not easy being married for someone who wants so little, if that makes sense. She might have been better off with someone, everyone might be better off with someone who had a grand ambition of doing this or doing that. Um, although I've been very sincere in who I am and what I want. And she never, ever asked me to change and be anything other than what I am. But again, we kept working at it. Neither one of us really, truly wanted to be apart. We wanted to have our own unique whatever. And we haven't fully arrived, but we're getting there. And it's pretty cool. And I have nothing but unconditional love for Mocha. And in that unconditional love, in that holy relationship, I get to see as an example for every relationship that I can come here on YouTube and do the same thing. Is it always easy trying to have a holy relationship with someone who is demanding that I eat meat, is telling me to gain however amount I'm supposed to gain on any given day? Um, surprisingly, yes. Surprisingly, yes, it is pretty easy. Because, you know what? Mocha and I gave each other the hard lessons. How much easier is it on YouTube than when the person you love above all looks you in the eye and say they want a divorce, and then you still manage to love them the next day? Man, guys, this is a piece of cake. Not only that, all the other stuff. I look at politics. Yes, there's some political candidates that I don't particularly care for. However, what a great practice to look past the ego. I'm going to give you an example, one that I don't normally do. I'm going to get specific in a candidate. You might find this shocking. Politically, I don't care much for Donald Trump. So yeah, this should come with a warning. I'm getting specific. So those who do care, I don't care that you care. Meaning that my respect, my admiration for you as a person is entirely independent of who you vote for. I'm just using this as an example. And he would be somewhat of a trigger for me. And one day, this is when he was still president, he was giving a tour of his home. I think it might have been Mar-a-Lago. I don't remember, but he had all these things. He had a shoe of a famous basketball player that he had bought. He had paintings, and he was showing them off. And at first, I thought, man, why am I watching this guy boast on all the stuff that he has? And then I was given a clear insight of the innocence beneath all of that, of someone who was able to find some type of joy in just having something like that. I could see past the ego and the fact that there was a spiritual response from my spirit to his spirit, and I haven't been able to look at him the same. I still don't like his policies. I still wouldn't vote for him, but I'm able to get past that, and I'm able to offer unconditional love, wish him the best. Does that mean that, when I look at the ego, do I support it? No, but Trump is not his ego. Trump is the same open, unconditional, loving, innocent presence that I am, that you are, that Mocha is. If I can learn that unconditional love from Mocha, I can learn and I can extend it to everyone. That's been the great political lesson for me. So, having said that, we will not discuss, well, you can ask questions about it, but, that was less political than you might believe when I mentioned the name that I mentioned. But had I not been able to do that deep work with Mocha, I wouldn't be able to do it with anyone in politics. And if I can do it then, because I really did have, it was an issue for me, and I recognized it as an issue. We got a laughing emoji from Eric Lapointe. How'd you like that for politics, Eric? Because, you and I both mentioned the other day that, we had people throwing in politics. And here I go and I throw in politics. I like to think of it as less than a political conversation as it was a spiritual conversation. William says, I believe all are worth more than a summary of events. I certainly am more than any time I feel mistaken. Why would not love the way I wish to feel when I am in the wrong? Who's to say you're in the wrong? And who's judging? Who is judging what is right and wrong for William Hart? Except for the ego that is not William Hart. In the absence of that judgment, who would you be? Just for a second. In the absence of that thought that you are wrong, who would you be? Eric Point says it was good. Those are, man, if we could have political talks that were based on that unconditional love, that no matter what you said, it would not change my view of you as a person. Imagine how much easier politics would be for all of us. Where I could say something like, I don't like this person, but I love this person. I love the person beneath the facade, and that I can love you for the beliefs that you have, knowing that you aren't your beliefs, that you are the spirit beneath the beliefs. Nothing ever has to be agreed with, but it should never affect the love that resides beneath those beliefs. This is why, anytime I see anyone stand up, pontificate, I think is the word I'm looking for. Anyone who stands up and, amazing again, I'm going to be unable to say it, pontificate. There we go. Got to learn to slow down just a bit. That they are not the pontification themselves. They are not the beliefs that they're talking about. Those are just beliefs. Beliefs are malleable, changeable. If I'm a good debater and I present you with opposing beliefs, and maybe with a little cash along the way, I might be able to sway your beliefs. So, how much weight does any belief system have? It can run deep, of course, but doesn't mean it can't be compromised. Doesn't mean it can't be changed. So if beliefs can be changed, then they can't be real. They're not reality. Reality is that unchangeable. And here's the paradox. Reality itself is unchangeable, and yet reality is always changing. William says, well, exactly. If I can judge either way, They also in similar wood. Uh, I would in that position want to feel love on the love or the counter, which isn't real. I would like to feel love from another, so I will give. I will be the change I wish to see. Awesomely said. Um, and when it starts with the love that we experience ourselves, within ourselves, then it just pours outwards. Two things can happen. We can project or we can extend. We can project fear, and we're projecting the fear in the yogic perspective of our attachments, our aversions, our fear of death, our belief that we are small, limited ego, and the fact that we're ignorant of all that. Or we can extend ourselves in love. And it's love that is the presence beneath it all. Unconditional means that. Unconditional, meaning that regardless of your beliefs, the unconditionalness of love stays the same. So, on the subject of love and the ending of the subjects of politics, it is probably time to wrap it up for the afternoon. I'm going to, sorry, my cat's making noises at me. I'm going to make something to eat. And I might go out and take a little short walk. I usually do my short walks inside in my house. Out of it's a little ritual of love from my father. When he was unable to walk outside, he wanted to continue walking even when I would help him out of a wheelchair. The day he went into the hospital, for the day before he went into the hospital for the last time, we walked around. It would be from the living room down the hall into the kitchen, through the kitchen, down the hall again. Circle. Small circle. But when he couldn't walk outside, we would walk that as many times as he could. The last day, he walked it once. Helped him back in his wheelchair. But he got up and he walked. That was his thing. He stayed in motion as long as he could. So after I eat, I do a little 5-minute walk after every meal or so. It's good for blood sugar. It's good for digestion. Excellent for the metabolism. Really good practice, by the way. It is a Ayurvedic practice. But I started doing it inside because it just connects me with my father. But I might go outside and do it today. I don't know why. I just feel the urge to be outside a little bit more. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'll be back. 2 hours. Same old spiel. If you're bored, nothing better to do. If you hadn't had enough of yogiisms for the day, coming back. Just even for a minute, coming by and say hi. It's always appreciated. I'm going to see everyone later. Eric Lapointe says, another great live. Thank you, Eric Lapointe. Again, you are the guys that make it that way. Eric Lapointe, slipping in the unstable joke. Right beneath my eyes. I didn't catch it at first. That's the problem of me being slow in the live stream. Had I read it right after I said horses on the loose, then I would have got it right off the bat. Let's see. Worm says agreed. See you later. And stay safe. Have a great afternoon. You too. Thank you guys. Again, I'll be back. Take care.